Now the Reubenites and the Gadites owned a very great number of cattle. When they saw that the land of Jazer and the land of Gilead was a good place for cattle, the Gadites and the Reubenites came and spoke to Moses, to Eleazar the priest, and to the leader of the congregation, saying, Ataroth, Dibon, Jazer, Nimrah, Heshbon, Eleale, Sebam, Nebo, and Beor. The land that the Lord subdued before the congregation of Israel is a land for cattle, and your servants have cattle. They continued, If we have found favor in your sight, let this land be given to your servants for a possession. Do not make us cross the Jordan. But Moses said to the Gadites and to the Reubenites, Shall your brothers go to war while you sit here? Why will you discourage the hearts of the Israelites from going over into the land that the Lord has given them? Your fathers did this when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to see the land. When they went up to Wadi Eshcol and saw the land, they discouraged the hearts of the Israelites from going into the land that the Lord had given them. The Lord's anger was kindled on that day, and he swore, saying, Surely none of the people who came up out of Egypt from 20 years old and upward shall see the land that I swore to give Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, because they have not unreservedly followed me. None except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, and Joshua, the son of Nun. For they have unreservedly followed the Lord. And the Lord's anger was kindled against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness for 40 years, until all generation that had done evil in the sight of the Lord had disappeared. And now view, a brood of sinners have risen in the place of your fathers to increase the Lord's fears against Israel. If you turn away from following him, he will again abandon them in the wilderness, and you will destroy all this people. Then they came up to him and said, We will build sheepfolds here for our flocks and towns for our little ones. But we will take up arms as a vanguard before the Israelites until we have brought them to their place. Meanwhile, our little ones will stay in the fortified towns because of the inhabitants of the land. We will not return to our homes until the Israelites have obtained their inheritance. We will not inherit with them on the other side of the Jordan and beyond, because our inheritance has come to us on this side of Jordan to the east. So Moses said to them, If you do this, if you take up arms to go before the Lord for the war, and all those of you who bear arms cross the Jordan before the Lord, until he has driven out his enemies from before him, and the land is subdued before the Lord, then after that you may return and be free of obligation to the Lord and to Israel, and this land shall be your possession before the Lord. But if you do not do this, you have sinned against the Lord, and be sure your sin will find you out. Build towns for your little ones and folds for your flocks, but do what you have promised. Then the Gadites and the Reubenites said to Moses, Your servants will do as my Lord commands. Our little ones, our wives, our flocks, and all our livestock shall remain there in the towns of Gilead. But your servants will cross over, everyone armed for war, to do battle for the Lord, just as my Lord orders. So Moses gave command concerning them to Eleazar the priest, to Joshua son of Nun, and to the heads of the ancestral houses of the Israelite tribes. And Moses said to them, If the Gadites and the Reubenites, everyone armed for battle before the Lord, will cross over the Jordan with you, and the land shall be subdued before you. Then ye shall give them the land of Gilead for a possession. But if they will not cross over with you armed, they shall have possessions among you in the land of Canaan. The Gadites and the Reubenites answered, As the Lord has spoken to your servants, so we will do. We will cross over armed before the Lord into the land of Canaan, but the possession of our inheritance shall remain with us on this side of the Jordan. Moses gave to them, to the Gadites and to the Reubenites and to the half-tribe of Manasseh, son of Joseph, the kingdom of the king Sihon of the Amorites and the kingdom of the king Og of Bashan. The land and its towns were the territories of the surrounding towns. And the Gadites rebuilt Debon, Ataroth, Aroer, Atroshaphan, Jazer, Jawihah, Beth-nimrah, and Beth-harna, fortified cities and folds for sheep. And the Reubenites rebuilt Heshbon, Elealeh, Kirathim, Nebo, and Balemon, and Sibmah, and they gave names to the towns that they rebuilt. The descendants of Maher, son of Manasseh, was to Gilead, captured it, and dispossessed the Amorites who were there. So Moses gave Gilead to Machir, son of Manasseh, and he settled there. Jair, son of Manasseh, went and captured their villages and renamed them Havot-jair. And Noba went and captured Kenath and its villages and renamed it Noba after himself. These are the stages by which the Israelites went out of the land of Egypt in military formation under the leadership of Moses and Aaron. Moses wrote down their starting points stage by stage by command of the Lord, and these are their stages according to their starting places. They set out from Ramesses in the first month on the 15th day of the first month. On the day after the Passover of Israelites went out boldly in the sight of all the Egyptians, while the Egyptians were burying all their firstborn, whom the Lord had struck down among them. The Lord executed judgments even against their gods. So the Israelites set out from Ramesses and camped at Succoth. They set out from Succoth and camped at Etham, which is on the edge of the wilderness. They set out from Etham and turned back to Pihahiroth and faces Baal-zephon, and they camped before Migdol. They set out for Pihahiroth, passed through the sea into the wilderness, went a 3 days' journey in the wilderness of Etham, and camped at Mirah. They set out from Mirah and came to Elim. At Elim there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees, and they camped there. They set out from Elim and camped by the Red Sea. They set out from the Red Sea and camped in the wilderness of Sin. They set out from the wilderness of Sin and camped at Dophkah. They set out from Dophkah and camped at Alush. They set out from Alush and camped at Rephidim, where there was no water for the people to drink. They set out from Rephidim and camped in the wilderness of Sinai. They set out from the wilderness of Sinai and camped at Kibroth-hattaavah. They set out from Kibroth-hattaavah and camped at Hazeroth. They set out from Hazeroth and camped at Rithmah. They set out from Rithmah and camped at Rimoth-pereh. They set out from Rimoth-pereh and camped at Libnah. They set out from Libnah and camped at Rissah. They set out from Rissa and camped at Kehlatha. They set out from Kehlatha and camped at Mount Shipher. They set out from Mount Shipher and camped at Harada. They set out from Harada and camped at Makheloth. They set out from Makheloth and camped at Tahath. They set out from Tahath and camped at Tehra. They set out from Tehra and camped at Mithka. They set out from Mithka and camped at Hashmona. They set out from Hashmona and camped at Moseroth. They set out from Moseroth and camped at Benjakan. They set out from Benjakan and camped out at Horgagidka. They set out from Horgagidka and camped at Jotbatha. They set out from Jotbatha and camped at Abrona. They set out from Abrona and camped at Esinobe. They set out from Esinobe and camped in the wilderness of Zin. They set out from Kadesh and camped at Mount Hor on the edge of the land of Edom. Aaron the priest went up to Mount Hor at the command of the Lord and died there in the 40th year after the Israelites had come out of the land of Egypt. On the first day of the 5th month, Aaron was 133 years old when he died on Mount Hor. The Canaanite, the king of Arad, who lived in the Negeb in the land of Canaan, heard of the coming of the Israelites. They set out from Mount Hor and camped at Zalmonah. They set out from Zalmonah and camped at Punnah. They set out from Punnah and camped at Oboth. They set out from Oboth and camped out at Yebrahim in the territory of Moab. They set out from Eim and camped at Dibongath. They set out from Dibongath and camped at Almodiblathaim. They set out from Almodiblathaim and camped in the mountains of Abarim before Nebo. They set out from the mountains of Abarim and camped in the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho. They camped by the Jordan from Bethjimoth and as far as Albishittim in the plains of Moab. In the plains of Moab by Jordan at Jericho, the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, when you cross over Jordan into the land of Canaan, you shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you, destroy their figured stones, destroy all their cast images, and demolish all their high places. You shall take possession of the land and settle in it, for I have given you the land to possess. You shall apportion the land by lot according to your clans. To a large one you shall give a large inheritance, and to a small one you shall give a small inheritance. The inheritance shall belong to the person on whom the Lord falls. According to your ancestral tribes you shall inherit. But if you do not drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you, then those who you let remain shall be as barbs in your eyes and thorns in your sides. They shall trouble you in the land where you are settling, and I will do to you as I thought to do to them." The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Command the Israelites and say to them, when you enter the land of Canaan, your south sector shall extend from the wilderness of Zin along the side of Edom. Your southern boundary shall begin from the end of the Dead Sea on the east. Your boundary shall turn south of the ascent of Akrabim and cross to Zin, and its outer limit shall be south of Kadesh Barnethan. It shall go on to Hazardar and cross to Azmon. The boundary shall turn from Azmon to the Wadi of Egypt, and its termination shall be at the sea. For the western boundary you shall have the great sea and its coast. This shall be your western boundary. This shall be your northern boundary. From the great sea you shall mark out your line to Mount Hor. From Mount Hor you shall mark it out to Lebohamath, and the outer limit of the boundary shall be at Zedad. Then the boundary shall extend to Siphron, and its end shall be at Hazarnan. This shall be your northern boundary. You shall mark out your eastern boundary from Hazarnan to Shepham, and the boundary shall continue down from Shepham to Riblah on the east side of Ain. And the boundary shall go down and reach the eastern slope of the sea of Chinnereth. And the boundary shall go down to the Jordan, and its end shall be at the Dead Sea. This shall be your land with its boundaries all around. Moses commanded the Israelites, saying, This is the land that you shall inherit by lot, which the Lord has commanded to give to the 9 tribes and to the half tribe. For the tribe of the Reubenites by their ancestral houses, and the tribe of the Gadites by their ancestral houses have taken their inheritance, and also the half tribe of Manasseh, the 2 tribes and the half tribe have taken their inheritance beyond the Jordan at Jericho eastward towards the sunrise. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, These are the names of the men who shall apportion the land to you for inheritance, the priest of Eleazar and the Joshua son of Nun. You shall take 1 leader of every tribe to apportion the land for inheritance. These are the names of the men. Of the tribe of Judah, Caleb the son of Jephunneh. Of the tribe of Simeonites, Shemuel son of Ammihud. Of the tribe of Benjamin, Elidad the son of Chislon. Of the tribe of Danites, a leader, Bukkisan of Jogli. Of the Josephites, of the tribe of the Manassites, a leader, Haniel son of Ephod. And of the tribe of Ephraimites, a leader, Kemuel son of Shiphthan. Of the tribe of Zebulunites, a leader, Elizaphan the son of Parnah. Of the tribe of Isharites, a leader, Paltiel son of Azan. And the tribe of Asherites, a leader, Ahihud son of Shelumai. Of the tribe of Naphtalites, a leader, Pedel son of Ammihud. These were the ones the Lord commanded to apportion the inheritance for the Israelites in the land of Canaan.